Okay. Oh my goodness, now I've got the hiccups. That's just really embarrassing. So first of all, I just want to welcome all of you to EDL 710. It's nice to see some familiar faces. I've had several of you in class before. And to those of you that I've not had the honor of working with, welcome to the class. Tonight we're going to spend some time just talking about what to expect in EDL 710, the things specifically that we're going to be learning, and then just some tips for you that hopefully will help you to be as successful as possible in the course. So tonight it's mostly about introductions, review of the course and our objectives, and then we'll get a little bit into some of the content. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that's already posted to the discussion board. It looks like I think I've responded to everybody that's posted so far. So if you haven't, please make sure you remember to do that. It's really interesting and fun, I think, to kind of learn about each other and to hear what everybody has to think. So we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. So those of you that have your webcams muted or turned off, if you could just go ahead and engage the video so that we can see your faces. I know some people don't like that, but we're trying to get to know each other here. Okay, I see a few more people popping in. Hey, Jasmine, how are you? Okay. All right, if you got the message from me about the meeting tonight, I asked everybody to have a couple sheets of paper and then a marker or a pen. So what I want you to do is to pull out that sheet of paper. And I told you to do that, and here I don't have one. Hang on, I gotta reach behind me, just a second. My granddaughters have been playing in my office, so I'm having a hard time finding stuff. So what you're gonna do is on your piece of paper, you're gonna write down your name. You're gonna write down what your current job is. And what is the most important thing that you think you want to learn in class? Okay. So as we all know, good teachers model. So I'm going to try to be a good teacher and model for you. So as you can see on mine, and then you'll hold it up to where everybody can see it in the camera. And then I just realized it's going to be backwards for y'all. Everybody's going to get to read backwards. Lovely. Okay, this may be a bad idea. We may not be able to do this. But mine says Tracy Johnson. I'm the graduate coordinator at LSUS. And I really want to spend some time focusing on how to align curriculum. So if you guys will do that, hold it up and then just real quickly read it aloud, then you can put it down. So it looks like, Willie, you've got yours ready to go. If you want to go ahead and unmute and read yours out. Oh, okay, maybe not. Does anybody else have theirs ready yet?
Not quite. So we put our profession down?
So if you're ready, just unmute and jump right in.
Miss Johnson.
Okay, Holly, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm Holly Holiday. I'm a 4th grade teacher right now, and I'd like some help in aligning the curriculum as well.
Okay, somebody talk, y'all.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Let's see. Holly, you want to go first?
I just tried. This is Holly. I'm Holly Holiday.
Maybe it's me. Hang on. Okay.
Holly Holiday, 4th grade teacher, and I'd like some help with aligning the curriculum as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Who's up next?
I'll go.
Okay. Thanks, Cameron.
I don't know if you can see it, but Kayla Carter, I'm a district instructional specialist, and I help with aligning curriculum with assessment.
Excellent. Thank you.
Stacy Griggs. I teach second grade, and I actually said the same thing. I said aligning assessment to curriculum.
Okay, excellent. Hey, Lauren?
I am also the same, aligning assessment with curriculum. I'm Lauren Cummins, teach third grade.
Great.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Jasmine Jackson, first grade, and I also want to align the curriculum with assessments.
Excellent. Okay. Who's next?
Hi, I'm Desiree McGuire, sixth grade teacher, and I'm interested in learning about the curriculum to use now and in the future as a leader.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if mine's working because my camera's acting crazy.
Okay, no, we can see you, Stephanie.
Okay, I'm Stephanie Beater. I teach 8th grade social studies and aligning my curriculum to my assessment.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess I got my marching orders from several of you.
Assessments are definitely one of those, like the hard things to align with your curriculum, especially with the standards.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're assessing them.
Okay, Willie, you want to go?
Yes. My name is Willie Henderson. I'm a high school science teacher, and I'm interested in how to design a more effective curriculum for the outcomes of student success. Nice to meet all of you.
Welcome. We're glad to have you. Okay, who's going to jump in next? Okay. Okay, Kariba, go ahead.
My name is Kariba Williams. I'm a second grade math teacher, and I will also like to learn more about aligning the curriculum to assessments as well as to the Common Core standards, which is a little tough.
Yeah, it is. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Hey, I'm Steven Sellers, and I am a 8th grade teacher, and I'm wanting to know about any anticipated curriculum changes coming up.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I can go. My name is Marla. I'm an 8th grade ELA teacher, and I'm really focusing on instructional practices and knowing how I can coach other teachers to kind of get them to where they need to be.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I am Yolanda Bourgeois, and I'm a 9th grade science teacher, and I'm interested in learning more about aligning curriculum to better prepare my students for their higher level science classes.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Who else is ready to jump in?
My name is Dan Stock. I'm a 6th grade science teacher, and I'm having the same issues. I'm trying to align the curriculum with our new science standards that we have. We currently have no curriculum, and we're creating our own.
Wow. That's a full-time job in and of itself.
Yes.
Okay. Who else?
I'll go.
Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah, Jennifer, and then I guess we're going to Melissa.
My name is Jennifer Trollha. I am an instructional leader, and I'd like to dive in more on the backwards assessment, going from the assessment lining down through the standards and then into classroom instruction for our teachers.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Okay.
Hey, this is Millicent Johnson. I'm not sure if you can because I'm on my iPad and I'm on my phone, using my phone to hear the class.
Okay. Well, just tell us your name and your information then.
Okay. Millicent Johnson. I'm a 7th and 8th grade English and math teacher in Monroe, Louisiana, and I just want to know how to teach other teachers to align their lesson plans with the curriculum.
Oh, no. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Who else wants to share?
I'm Andrea Howard. I'm a 7th, 8th grade science teacher in Texas for the 2nd year. So I'm interested in learning how to align the curriculum with the TEKS. I never heard of these things before. So I'm very interested in learning myself And then I'm a teacher leader as well, so I need to be able to help my team to do so.
Great. Well, my 35 years of experience was in Texas, so I can definitely help you with the Texas part. Okay, who else? Thank you. Welcome. Percy, you want to go?
That's Percy Williams. I'm a high school band director, and I am definitely interested in aligning the curriculum, because the arts people, we tend to get, put to the side. So I think it's very important for me to really get an understanding of aligning the curriculum.
Excellent. Yeah, I was a principal of a performing and visual arts high school. It was named one of the 8 best magnet schools in the country. So I've got a little bit of experience working with the arts. So exciting. Good. Welcome. Who else? You guys have to forgive me too. There's so many of us now. I'm on like 3 pages. So I'm trying to see who's ready. Anybody else want to jump in? I mean, you don't have to, but we sure would like to know who everybody is.
I'm not sure if you can see me.
Yes, we can.
Okay, Megan Curley. I currently teach kindergarten, but I've taught kindergarten through 4th. And I'm interested more so in aligning curriculum, for the struggling students, as well as trying to figure out what to do more so with the gifted students.
Yeah, and thank you, Megan. That's a real hot button issue for me. Is we talk all the time about remediation for our struggling students, but we also forget our gifted. So we have to also think about curriculum not only from the RTI perspective, but also from that enrichment. So great, good thought. Okay, anybody else? Like I said, you don't have to. I'm not going to call you out tonight, but just know I will eventually. So get ready. Anybody else want to share? Okay, well, let's just dive right into some of the content that we're going to talk about tonight. So, as I said, EDL 710, Leading Instruction and Assessment, is honestly one of my very favorite courses to teach, because I think it is really the most important work that we can do as teacher leaders, campus leaders, and central office leaders. We can have great instructional practices, but if those instructional practices don't meet the demands and expectations of the curriculum, then we're just wasting our time. At the same time, if we have a great curriculum and we're using really excellent instructional strategies in the classroom, but it's not aligned to our assessment, then we get what I call false negative results. So it's very important that we really understand and think about that alignment between curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Now, there are some people out there who have done extensive amounts of research and work in this area, and I want you to remember these 3 names. They're very important people in curriculum development, alignment, and assessment. One of them is obviously from our textbook, Wiggins and McTighe. They are the gurus. When you hear people talk about understanding by design, they're the ones who invented it. When you hear people talk about backwards planning, again, that is part of their work. So schooling by design really sort of breaks that down and helps us to understand what it means to unpack a standard, to align it to curriculum, to align it to assessment, and then to translate that in to classroom instruction. Another name that you need to remember is Fenwick English. Fenwick English has been around a really long time. He's sort of one of the founding fathers, I guess, of the idea of curriculum alignment. And in his works, he talks about ensuring that we have that the taught curriculum is the, excuse me, let me start over. The written curriculum is the taught curriculum, and the taught curriculum is the tested curriculum. So, oftentimes, especially with state assessments, we don't know exactly what's going to be on it. And so we may not actually be following that tested piece in our teaching. Then the third name is Heidi Hayes Jacobs. And Heidi Hayes has kind of a different take, I guess, on curriculum. She's a little bit more out there in that she thinks that we should not divide curriculum into necessarily discrete units or to teach specific skills or concepts. She's more sort of a big idea person. And she believes that if we teach at the conceptual level and help students to learn the concept, that they're going to be successful on pretty much any assessment that we do. So if you've ever heard people talk about the development of an essential question or a guiding question for a lesson, that comes from Heidi Hayes Jacobs' work. So quite frankly, I think we can use elements from all three of the big gurus in curriculum to help us to get to where we need to for success for students. The other name that you may want to think about, I wouldn't say he's necessarily a curriculum alignment guru, but he certainly has done a ton of work around the idea of how leaders impact student learning, and that's Carl Glickman. His book is very old. It was written back in the 90s. In fact, I think it's even out of print. You can still get it through ASCD, but he's the one who spearheaded the idea of leadership for learning. And he's really the one who put forth the idea that campus leaders have to be instructional leaders. If they fail to be instructional leaders, then we can't expect the schools to be as successful as we want and to make our students successful. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight, and like I said, we're not going to go into a whole lot of depth with content, but let me just sort of prepare you for what it is that we're doing. We're going to talk a whole lot about standards, whether it's Common Core, Texas state standards, Louisiana standards, Florida standards, whatever. They're all basically the same, but we're going to talk about them from a structural standpoint as well as a content standpoint. So for example, I'll pick on Texas. Texas has two kinds of elements in their standards. They call their standards the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. Some people say TEX, some people say TEKS. I say TEX because phonetically that makes more sense to me. But those standards are divided into two parts. There's a skill standard and there's a process standard. So in Texas, you not only have to worry about the content and the concepts, you also have to worry about the thinking processes that students have to use to be able to meet that standard. And when those students are tested, they have to bring in to their state level assessment both skill sets to be able to be successful. Common Core does a little bit of that, not quite as much as Texas. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to spend a lot of time learning about the standards, how they're constructed, what every element of a standard means, and how we can really understand the standards so that we can teach them. We're also going to talk a lot about curriculum alignment and what does it mean to have an aligned curriculum? How do you know if it's aligned or not? What are those elements you have to look at to be able to ensure that you have the right curriculum, you're using the best instructional practices, and that it's going to meet the expectations so students are prepared on assessments. We're also going to talk about alternative ways to assess students, because quite frankly, if the only time we're assessing is at the end of the year when that state test is given, guess what, guys? It's too late. If we've made a misstep along the way, all we get are those historical results back, usually in the summer, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. So while state testing and assessment gets a bad rap, and I think they deserve a bad rap in a lot of ways, assessment is an essential part of effective teaching. We're going to talk about how to use data to drive our decisions, how to ensure instruction is happening in the classroom in the most effective manner. We're going to talk about how, as a leader, you can actually impact instruction and guide and coach teachers. All of these things that we're doing are aligned to our accrediting body, which is CAPE for the university, the education department. Plus, these are the things that are going to appear, I promise you, on the SLLA test that you have to take when you graduate, or the Texas test, or whatever assessment your state requires. So lots of work to do, and we've only got 7 weeks to do it, so I'll try not to overwhelm you as we go through. But like I said, this is probably some of the most important work that you will do, whether you're a campus assistant principal, a teacher leader, a central office person, and certainly if you aspire to go into curriculum departments at the central office level. This is very, very important work. And I will tell you, a lot of people think they know how to do it, but very few do. In fact, somebody wrote in one of their discussion forums how much they hated observations. And we're going to talk a lot about teacher observations and why they matter and how they're important. but they are so misused and so misunderstood by probably 90% of campus principals. So we're going to teach you how to do it the right way so that it actually positively impacts teaching and our student outcomes. So the other thing I want to just kind of briefly go over with you tonight is, what are my expectations? Some of you have had me before, so, I guess I can get off Zoom and leave y'all here and you can tell them the truth about what I'm like to work with, but I'll do my best to let you know. Yes, my email is Tracy Fraley Johnson. My name is Tracy Johnson. LSU, the LSU system is the only place in America left that still has Fraley attached to me. I worked really hard to get rid of that last name, but for some reason LSU cannot. So please do not call me Miss Fraley Johnson. Just either call me Tracy or whatever, but it is Tracy Johnson, despite what LSU thinks. The other thing too that I want you to know about is I try very hard to keep up with the class and grading and all of that. In fact, I think I've actually read everybody's forum posts so far and graded them for you, those that have submitted, and I will continue to do that. Normally I teach 2 classes every 7 weeks, but I'm only teaching 1 now, so I'm hoping that I can be really on top of things. But my full-time job at LSUS is I serve as the graduate coordinator and advisor for the MEDL, the Masters of Health Care Administration, the Masters of Public Health, the doctoral program, the school psychologist program, the counseling program, and we just got, Dr. Perry and I were just given the MEDCI program as well. So there are plans to hire another person so that they can lighten my load a little bit, but I am pretty busy working, like I said, to coordinate all those programs and to do advisement. So if I'm a little slow sometimes responding, just understand it's probably a crazy time in my real job, but I will definitely try to get back to you guys. In terms of the way the class is structured, most weeks you will have a discussion forum that you need to do, as well as a reflective response. And then there's some individual projects. Now on the weeks that you have a project to do, I try to lighten your load in terms of the other pieces. So, you may not have to do a forum posting or a reflective response every single week. But I do want to remind you, this is graduate school. And I really don't have problems, quite frankly, with the students, but some of the other instructors and professors complain that people write like they're texting and, all of that kind of stuff. This is professional writing. You're all educators and they're going to be leaders if you're not already. So we do expect professional writing. Use APA style. And if you're not familiar with that, just Google Purdue OWL, O-W-L. It's a superb resource that can help you with that. I also would suggest you maybe download Grammarly, again, a free site that will really help you check and edit your work before you submit. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to due dates and deadlines and stuff like that because unlike a lot of professors, I have not spent my entire life in academia. I was actually a practitioner most of my life. I spent a total of 37 years in private and public education. Of that, 33 was in public ed and actually in both in urban school settings. So I know what it's like to be a teacher or to be a leader or an instructional coach or whatever, and that you have a lot of things on your plate. I'm thinking about Percy, who's a band director, and it's football season and marching season, and then you've got UIL, or I guess you don't do UIL, that's a Texas thing, but you've got competitions coming up. So you're a pretty busy person. So if you miss a deadline, don't worry about it. All I ask is communicate with me and let me know. And sometimes like if I'm in a grading mode and I see you haven't submitted, I will send you an email or a message and say, hey, is everything okay? So like I said, I'm not looking to fail you. I want you to all be successful, and I want you to learn because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. Also rely on each other so that you can definitely support and help each other. And I think you'll find too, it's been really fun to watch some of our graduates as they're moving into those first principalships, how they still rely on each other and talk to each other all the time. Let me think, what are my other pet peeves? I do have a double major in special ed and English, so yeah, I'm a little bit of a grammar crazy person, but I'll try not to be too hard on everybody. It's just I can't help it. It's just inbred into me at this point. Oh, for those of you that have had my classes before, I know how much y'all loved the group project. So we are not doing a group project this time. So if you're disappointed, I'm sorry. I see Kareeb over there like, yeah, cheering. So yeah, it was not the most popular thing, and I know it's hard. So we are not doing that, but you will have some individual projects. Now I will tell you, with that being said, on the individual projects, if you want to work with someone in the class, you are welcome to do that on your own. That is absolutely fine. You know, because like I said, it's not about creating the perfect project. It's really more about the learning and understanding and being able to walk away with some really practical things that you can use. It is my hope that by the end of the course, you will be able to have some tools and some templates and some protocols and, you know, all kinds of things that you can put in that virtual sort of backpack that you can use tomorrow in your classroom or tomorrow as a coach, and then as well on into the future. So when you do become the assistant principal or the instructional coach or the principal or whatever, you can go, oh, you know what, I remember we talked about that, and you've got something that you can take and make work for you. I'm not going to go through all the assurances of learning. That's really a accreditation thing. So if anybody were to ever ask you, we went through those pretty systemically. I also realized when I printed out my PowerPoint, it is really tiny writing, so I do apologize for that. But basically, the whole premise behind EDL 710 is, like I said, it's about the alignment of elements and curriculum to ensure that we do what we're really here about, and that is to make sure that our students succeed and our students achieve. And we're going to spend time, hopefully, giving you some tools and ways to do that. So, not only are we going to talk about standards and expectations, we're going to talk about content and really understanding that, some methods for teaching, how we use assessment. We'll get into data use a teeny bit, but that's really actually another course. That's really EDL 707, so we won't go into data a whole lot. But we're also going to talk about the importance of reflection, how to use student work samples as part of the alignment process. And then we're going to talk to you about the absolute necessity of vision and mission to guide our work, and how do we go about setting priorities, setting goals, and then evaluating them. I found that schools are okay at getting a vision and a mission up, but they never actually evaluate their progress towards it. So we're going to give you hopefully some tools to do that. So let me just look at my notes and see if there's anything else that's, you know, really pressing for tonight. Really, tonight's more about just kind of getting everybody up and running. We'll also learn the 5 principles of leadership for learning, and those are written out for you in your PowerPoint, but we'll go into more in-depth discussion later on about it. And then finally, I've opened up the getting started, the week 1 and week 2 and week 3. So don't feel like you have to work ahead, but I know some of you like to work ahead, especially as we come upon in the fall. You know, we've got Thanksgiving and holidays, and there's just a whole lot going on. So I do go ahead and open those up so that those of you that want to work ahead can. You don't have to feel constricted by, oh my gosh, she's not going to open up the next one. So I'll try to stay a little bit ahead of y'all to the best of my ability. Okay? Any questions, comments, concerns, arguments? Y'all are just like, wow, okay. Okay, y'all are making this too easy on me tonight. I figured there'd be some pushback. Oh, someone wants to know, do you need a TaskStream account? Okay, I'm going to try to give my best university-approved answer. Yes, you need a TaskStream account. I personally hate TaskStream. But we are, for accreditation purposes on down the line, that's what we're using as the repository. But before you go out, if you've purchased it, you're fine because you'll need it for other classes. If you haven't, hold off just for a little bit. Because I am a huge proponent of the Google system and using like Google Docs or Google Drive or whatever because it's free. And I know what it costs to go to college. So I'm still trying to convince the powers that be to let me have you load things into a Google Drive folder, and then I can upload everything for everybody into TaskStream as opposed to you having to pay for it. So like I said, if you've already bought it, that's fine, you know, because you will definitely need it for other classes. But if you haven't, you can maybe hold off on that expense for just a little bit, because like I said, I'd rather do the upload for you. More than likely, we would have no more than 2 to 3 assignments that we upload to TaskStream anyway. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I know I've just dumped a whole bunch of information on you, but you know, if questions come up or whatever, you can always email me through the Moodle course. You can email me directly. You guys have my cell phone number. I do ask, please don't call me, because I spent too many years of my life as a high school principal, and I became like a teenager. So like teenagers, I don't like to talk on the phone, but I will text with you. But also my job, a lot of times I'm in meetings and stuff and I can't answer the phone, but I can always text. So, you know, but if you do text me, tell me who you are, because I don't get that information. Okay. Let's see, I'm just looking here at the group chat, see if there's anything else that kind of popped up here. Okay. Well, like I said, you guys are making it pretty easy on me tonight, but you know, if you have questions, just, you know, hey, let me know. I'm here to help you. And if you have questions about assignments or anything like that, just let me know. And I will try to give you feedback as we go along in a pretty timely manner. Okay. Those of you that have had me before, is there anything else I need to know that I didn't cover?
Ms. Johnson, I had one question.
Sure.
About how much time should we carve out for these Wednesday night video meetings?
Great question. Thank you. They never last more than an hour. I mean, I cut it off right at an hour. And if you can't, because, you know, I've tried different nights of the week and stuff, and it's just impossible to find a night that works for everybody. So I do always record the meetings. And what I do is I will, as soon as we're done, I'll upload the video to my YouTube account, and then I'll post a link in the Moodle course that says Zoom meeting recording that you can always go back and rewatch. Plus, I will send it out to you through the announcements link in the course. So, like I said, you know, don't feel bad if you can't be here. We understand life happens, and, you know, that's why we do the recordings.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, guys? Let me scroll pages here, make sure I'm not missing anybody.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The reading, I already saw, like, for the first module, we have like the textbook reading and the online readings, as well as the video. Is that going to be like for every module, like all of those readings, as well as like the video? Would that be like for every module?
Yeah, pretty much. Now I will tell you, well, it looks like if you just look at, you know, there's like 3 readings or whatever, the readings are pretty short. They're generally no more than 1 to 3 pages. And the videos, I don't think, I'm trying to remember. I think the videos are usually, I try to do no more than like 10-minute videos. Now, you'll notice too in the course, there's a section that says resources or important documents or something like that. You do not have to read all those. But if you're struggling with an assignment or you need some more ideas or whatever, those resources are there to help you. But yeah, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, the video this week is 4 minutes. So like I said, I'm not asking you to watch an hour-long video. I can't watch an hour-long video. They're generally pretty short, but it's either going to be part of the assignment where you have to watch a video and give some feedback, or it's to support what we're learning, okay? But the good news is I don't give tests. There's no quizzes. Okay. Anything else, guys? All right, well, I'm going to give you 25 minutes of your life back tonight that you didn't probably expect. So you can use that to, I don't know, go watch something on TV or work on some assignments. But I'm really excited about having everybody in class. We have the most amazing students in the EDL program. We feel really blessed to get to work with such outstanding individuals. So thank you for choosing EDL 710 as your class, and we will see you guys again next week. Turn off the recording.